were coming. Valhalla!
What happens when the wild fury of the Viking Berserkers clashes with the calculated precision of the samurai? Two legendary forces, each forged in unique environments, separated by oceans and centuries, yet united by their legendary status. If these warriors met on the battlefield, who would emerge victorious? Let's dive into history, culture, and combat styles to uncover the ultimate answer. Origins of the Vikings. The Vikings emerged from the cold, rugged lands of Scandinavia during the late 8th century. They were seafarers, raiders, traders, and settlers, leaving an undeniable mark on Europe and beyond. Their longships carried them far from home, striking terror wherever they went. Their warriors, particularly the Berserkers, stood out as the most fearsome. Clad in animal pelts and driven by a near mythical frenzy, they charge into battle with wild abandon. Some believe their strength was supernatural, amplified by spiritual rituals, or perhaps by hallucinogenic substances. Viking tactics relied on shock and awe. Their raids were sudden and brutal, designed to devastate and destroy. Unlike structured armies, they thrived on unpredictability and raw aggression. Yet Vikings weren't just brutal, they were innovators. Their longships were engineering marvels, allowing them to strike swiftly and retreat just as fast. This combination of ferocity and cunning made them one of the most feared forces in history. It wasn't just their weapons that made them deadly, it was their mindset. Vikings believed in a glorious afterlife in Valhalla, reached only through bravery in battle. This belief often turned them into fearless warriors, unafraid of death and willing to take any risk for honor and glory. Rise of the Samurai. Half a world away, in the feudal era of Japan, a different kind of warrior was born. The samurai were bound by Bushido, the way of the warrior, a code that empathized honor, loyalty, and discipline. From a young age, they trained rigorously to perfect their skills, both in combat and in character. Their primary weapon, the katana, is one of the most celebrated swords in history. Forged with precision, its sharpness and balance made it deadly in the hands of a skilled warrior. But the samurai were not limited to the katana. They mastered a range of weapons, each suited to specific combat scenarios. Unlike the chaotic berserkers, samurai fought with discipline and strategy. Their armor, crafted from lacquered metal and leather, offered protection without sacrificing mobility. In battle, they anticipated their opponent's moves, striking at the perfect moment. Beyond combat, samurai embodied the ideals of self-control and mastery. Their approach to war was as much mental as it was physical, making them revered not just as fighters, but as philosophers of the battlefield. Samurai society was deeply hierarchical. Serving as a daimyo or feudal lord, samurai often engaged in political struggles as well as military battles. Loyalty was paramount, and betrayal often led to ritual suicide, or seppuku, demonstrating their ultimate dedication to honor. Philosophies of combat. The Viking and samurai mindsets couldn't be more different. For the Berserkers, battle was an outlet for primal rage, a frenzy that overwhelmed their enemies. Their goal was destruction, pure and simple. This chaos was their strength. Samurai, on the other hand, approached combat with precision and control. For them, battle was an art form, a test of discipline. Every movement, every strike had purpose. A true samurai sought balance, not just in combat, but in life itself. The philosophies extended beyond the battlefield. Vikings often settled where they raided, blending in with local cultures and leaving a legacy of exploration. Samurai, however, remained rooted in Japanese traditions, influencing art, governance, and martial arts long after their era ended. Now, let's imagine the clash. On one side, a Viking berserker charges, wielding a massive Dane axe and roaring with fury. His sheer strength and endurance make him a force of nature. On the other, a samurai stands calm and focused, katana drawn, analyzing every move with precision. Viking strikes first, swinging his axe with devastating power. The samurai dodges, countering with a lightning-fast strike to the Viking's unarmored flank. But the berserker is unfazed, his fury pushing him forward despite the injury. The fight becomes a deadly chess match. The berserker's overwhelming power clashes with the samurai's disciplined technique. The Viking's axe shatters the samurai's first parry, but the samurai's katana finds gaps in the Viking's defenses. Ultimately, the victor would depend on the environment and circumstances. In open chaos, the berserker's ferocity might dominate. But in a controlled duel, the samurai's precision could most likely slash the Viking into two and send him to Valhalla. Legacy and cultural influence. While the battle between the Vikings and samurai is purely hypothetical, their legacies live on and continue to shape the world today. Vikings, with their fearless exploration and cultural influence, left a lasting mark on Europe. From the creation of trade routes to the integration of Norse mythology into modern storytelling, the Vikings were more than just warriors. They were cultural pioneers. In places like Scandinavia, Viking festivals and reenactments draw crowds from around the globe, celebrating the spirit of these fearless seafarers. Their reputation for resilience and ingenuity also lives on in modern sports. Rugby teams, MMA fighters, and extreme adventurers often invoke the Viking ethos of courage and perseverance. Samurai, on the other hand, left an equally profound impact, particularly in the realms of martial arts and philosophy. The Bushido Code, empathizing, loyalty, respect, and mastery, has become a universal principle that transcends cultural boundaries. Martial arts like Kendo and Judo owe their roots to the samurai tradition, continuing to teach discipline and focus to millions worldwide. The samurai also hold a special place in global pop culture. Their stories have inspired films like anime, literature, from Kurosawa's timeless classics to modern Hollywood blockbusters like The Last Samurai. Their image as a noble warriors resonates with audiences embodying the pursuit of honor and self-mastery. In both Eastern and Western cultures, these warriors have become symbols of resilience, honor, and mastery. While their methods and philosophies differed greatly, their shared pursuit of greatness has left an undeniable imprint on history. So who would win in a battle? The fierce Viking berserker or the disciplined samurai warrior? It's a question that sparks endless debates, but perhaps the answer isn't as important as what these warriors represent. Both the Vikings and samurai embody the human spirit's endless drive to overcome challenges, protect what matters most, and leave a legacy for generations to admire. As we look back at their stories, it's clear that the Viking and samurai weren't just warriors. They were legends who shaped the cultures and worlds they lived in. And even now, their tales inspire us to push beyond our limits and strive for greatness. What do you think? Would the Vikings' raw power and ferocity triumph? Or would the samurai's precision and discipline prevail? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more epic showdowns from history and beyond. Until next time, stay curious and stay legendary.